Okay, so we're going to be using weights today, and we're going to be doing a large portion of this class standing. I have a mat down, but I often feel that I need to go without the mat for a little more stability, so especially if you have a nice soft squishy Pilates mat. It's a little harder to balance. Yoga mats may be a little bit easier if they're really, really thin, but just consider doing this flat on your floor as well. We have a little bit of a warm-up to start, and then I have a set of 3-pound weights and a single 2-pound weight that I'll use if one of these exercises gets a little too heavy with the 3s, but you could probably do this also with like a 4 and a 5-pound weight. I would have a couple different options depending on how often you use weights in your practice. So I want to start with a little shoulder stretch. We'll begin with cat and cow, so wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You're going to lift the tail, let the spine stretch, and then curl the tail under, fold your ribs, and let your head hang a little bit. Do that just 3 more times, opening the spine, scooping the tail, low abs engage, shoulders round a little bit. Last 2 times, tail lifts, big stretch through the abs, scoop the tail under. And then last time here. And then you're going to come back through, after you finish this last cat, through your neutral position. You're going to keep your thighs vertical. You're going to slide your right arm forward, let your left elbow bend. Try not to shift back, stay right on top of those knees, and then come back through the center. I'm really trying to feel, and you're going to switch to the other side, that I'm going through a hallway and I'm moving away from my legs rather than towards them, which is hard because there's a wall in front of me. Scooch back a little bit. Do that 3 more times. You should feel a stretch under the arm that's straight in front of you, through the lat. Woo. Last 2 times. Last time here with this one. And then you're going to come back and thread a needle. So you're going to reach your left arm underneath the right, and I'm going to just ever so slightly let my right elbow bend, and I'm trying not to lay my shoulder on the floor. I'm just twisting across slightly. Do that 3 more times. And 2. So it's really a lot of rotation through the thoracic spine last time. And then come back to the center and take the right hand under the left now. And to the other direction, back to that same side. So twisting through and then coming forward. Again, just a little bend. I'm really trying not to lay my whole shoulder down. I'm just reaching through. Okay, then from here, we're gonna go ahead and lay it on our side. It's my left side, I'm facing the camera. I'm gonna take my left hand underneath my head to support my head, and then my right hand behind my head. I'm going to pull my knees up a little bit past 90. You're going to inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, open the chest back. Hopefully feeling a little bit of a stretch to the pecs. Come all the way back through the center and do that 3 more times. We'll do 4 of these. Two. Just rotating, trying to keep that top hip forward. Last time, inhaling, exhaling, twisting, and then coming all the way back to the center. You can flip over. I'm going to spin around just so I'm still looking at the camera. And same thing, so now right side, right hand underneath your head for support, left hand behind your head, little sideways scoop, legs to 90 or a little past. You're going to think small imprint, inhale, lift the top elbow, look towards it, and then exhale, spin your chest back, that top hip stays forward. Inhale, lift, and exhale, rotate back. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling and back to the center, last 2 times. Inhaling and back to the center, very last time. And then coming all the way back. So now I'm going to roll into my back. We're going to start with dead bug with weights. Really simple exercise, but the weights add a little fun to it, right? A little more challenge. And in some ways, I think that they actually give me feedback that I need, so I don't just feel like I'm floating through space, but I have to reach to the back shoulders. So let's start with just that reach. You're gonna let your shoulders drop down to the floor. So I feel my scapula touching the mat. And then I'm gonna press really from the back of my shoulders. You'll feel a little bit of pecs too. I'm reaching my arms back up to the sky. Scapula lower, and you lift. Now your pelvis should be neutral. You should have that little space underneath the low back. Feet are about hips distance wide. Something underneath the head should you need it. And we're considering when we're on the floor kind of our warm up for today. So we have a few warm up exercises. And then I just want you to hold somewhere right in between that protraction and retraction. Lift one leg up to tabletop. Try to hold your neutral position of the pelvis as you lift and switch from one leg to the next. And so I really feel like my legs are floating here, but my arms are kind of solid and reaching. Lift and switch. Inhaling and exhaling. So a few of these, our goal is to keep the pelvis still. Pelvis in neutral if you can, we'll try that. Imprint if you're starting to work through the back a little too much. And then I want you to hold both legs up into tabletop. You could imprint a little bit here should you feel like you're just using those spinal extensors. Now I want you to reach with both arms, your arms back almost into a little V shape so they go slightly wider than your shoulders. And then inhale your arms back up. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. You're really thinking of low abs zippering up. Like I like to think of little suspenders here. So I'm bringing my arms back only as far as my ribs don't pop. If I went like this, I wouldn't be using my abs at all, would I? So I'm just holding my pelvis and ribs in place. You're gonna start to extend one leg out and pull it back in. Second leg, alternating your sides and bringing it back. So in some ways, I think the weights almost counterweight my legs for my arms. It feels really good in my body. But we should be feeling a little bit of a challenge through the shoulders. Last 2 times. And then last time here. Now you're gonna come back to the center, close your legs together, diamond shape your legs and open your arms wide like a T, and then close your arms and legs back to the center. Now I'm opening again, only as far as I don't feel my arms collapsing to the floor, nor my ribs lifting from the ground. I want to open my arms evenly as wide, so you can kind of just look at the side through the peripheral, through the side of your eyes, and just to kind of notice, do I feel like one arm is maybe a little lower? Okay, now you're gonna hold this next open and start to do that same little scissor with your knees in that turned out position. And you're just balancing your weights, keeping the back of the body down on the floor. Trying to keep the hips from rotating. And then I want you to close your arms for 2 counts and open your arms for 2 counts. So I close my arms as my legs switch twice, and I open my arms as my legs switch twice. I close, and I open, and I close, and I open, and I close, and I open, and this last time I close and I hold it there. Turn your legs back to parallel, push both legs forward, bend both legs back, push, bend 4 more times, push, bend 3, push, bend, last time hold it, arms go back an inch and forward an inch, little further if you can manage, bend your knees, it's all in the hip flexors, 3, we're starting hard, 2, and then very last time, hold it for 3, 2, bend your knees in on 1, set your feet down wider than your mat, bend your elbows and let the weights pull your arms back into that goalpost position. And then let your knees windshield wiper from one side, let your head fall to the other side, lift through the center and switch. And then one more time, just to even yourself out. Come all the way back to the center. Stretch your legs out long in front of you. Reach your arms up to the sky. Flip your palms to face each other. Reach your arms slightly back. We're gonna go into our roll up with weights. So this usually feels very different than when we do it without any props. Reach your arms up, curl your chest forward, and roll up and over. Find your sits bones. Now this is a lot heavier, right? So hold those arms up. Don't let them sink down. Keep them parallel to the floor. Reach from the back of your shoulder. Roll down through the spine. Arms reach back. Oops. Inhale. Up and over. Inhale back. And arms reach back. One more time. Up and over. And then stack the spine to come all the way up. Flip your palms down to the floor. Bend your elbows. Push your arms straight. You can bend your knees a little bit here. I'm trying to keep my arms at the same height as I move. Four more. 3, 2. Last time on one, press your arms straight. Same movement, but now bend one elbow and rotate towards that bent arm side. No movement in the hips, so you shouldn't feel like one heel is sliding back. You're staying right on top of your sits bones. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and then very last time on one, and bend your elbows back. Okay, we're gonna come to a kneeling position for thigh stretch. If your knees are sensitive, don't move until it's the biggest stretch you've ever taken, right? Kind of moderate a little bit. We're stretching the quads, we're keeping the hamstrings and the glutes engaged, as well as that ab zipper from the front. You're gonna flip your palms forward, thumbs can be wrapped, and sometimes like mine behind, and I'm just gonna find little pelvic tilts to start. So I'm gonna curl my tail under, hopefully you can see, and then I'm gonna release back. So as I exhale, I think of low abs coming in, and a little bit of engagement right through the base of my seat. 2 more times, and then this last time, hold it there. Now push down through your back shins, engage your glutes, little hinge back, bicep curl, and then come all the way to straight. Bicep curl, all the way to straight. So this is usually where I have to be careful because one of my knees is a little more sensitive. So I'm gonna make mine really small. I'm gonna go slow, and I wanna feel like I'm pulling myself back with my hamstrings, which I'm having a hard time feeling today. So I'm just gonna make it smaller. If you're able to go back further, you don't get any twinges through your knees, then by all means, make it larger. So just little bicep curls. I'm keeping my arms down to my sides for now. 4 more. So I really feel like I'm trying to pull my sits bones to my heels from the back of my legs. 2, and then you're gonna hold, and you're gonna serve a tray and pull it back, and you're gonna exhale as you reach arms out. So again, you feel that activation. You could do this in a squat if kneeling doesn't feel good. Five more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last time, hold it, little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, eyes kind of up and out. 4, 3, 2, then just hold it there. Feel that zipper from the front, feel that zipper from the back. Open the chest, open the throat. 4, 3, 2. Take your fist down, tuck your toes, lift your hips into a down dog, and bend one knee and then the other. Okay, from here, we're gonna step the left foot forward and the right leg back. So this is where I always feel like, okay, my mat is really soft and it's hard to balance. So I'm gonna start with a calf stretch. I'm gonna send my right heel down. I'm just gonna punch my weights together. If you have a hard time getting your heel down, try turning your toe out a little bit. I don't want you to go too far. You can also narrow your stance. I have a pretty healthy stance here. Now, I like people to make sure they're not just sitting back. Do you see how my back just really arched? So I'm kind of curling my ribs up and over. My pelvis is at a slight angle, right? So my pelvis isn't upright, slightly hinged forward, which means I need to get the rest of my body in line with my pelvis. So we're all gonna find that slight hinge forward, that slight diagonal line. So my chest is kind of over the middle of my thigh. And we're gonna start by pushing the front leg straight and bending it back. And I'm really trying to just go, it's almost like this slight diagonal. So I shift my weight to my back leg, I shift my weight to my front leg. Now it's not a big movement, right? It's just more of a feeling of I'm loading my back leg, I'm loading my front leg. But I want you to start to feel active through that front quadricep. For me, it's my left as you move. And then I want you to pull your elbows into your side. And as you extend your leg, you're extending your elbows and then pulling back. So we're just doing this motion first. Motion first. Four more. 3, 2, and then this last time, you're gonna hold your bend. And now what I want you to do is I want you to punch. For me, it's my right arm, right? The same side as my back leg. I'm gonna punch my right leg forward and lift my back heel. And that's okay, because remember, my weight is on that front foot. I'm gonna pull my elbow back. And I think of that draw from the bottom. I'm keeping my weight on that front foot, but I am really pushing down to the ball of my back foot. If this felt really hard, you could shorten your stance, which would probably put a little more weight on that front foot. Okay, 4 more. 3. If you feel wobbly, use a wall, 2, or a chair. And this last time, you're gonna hold it. I want you to do little bends and little stretches. So you're holding that outreached arm. Notice my back knee still bent. I feel like I'm dropping my back knee down to the ground. I'm trying to keep that front knee aligned. So if your knee is falling to the inside of your big toe, feel a little more weight on the outside of your pinky toe. On the outside, like that outside line of your foot. Okay, for 4 more. 3, 2. Now you're slightly hinged forward. And then very last time, hold it, bend. We're gonna come into this slightly turned out wide squat position. So I definitely have my feet a little bit wider than my hips. What I want you to do is I want you to pull your elbows into your side. And this is more of a squat. We're not gonna be upright. And I want you to squat down and squat up. So if I turn to the side, just so you can see this, I'm pulling my hips back, and I'm bringing my hips up. Okay, so I'm squatting back, and I'm squatting forward. So I want weight to go back to my heels, and I use my glutes to stand. Again, you're gonna kick and extend both elbows straight, and come all the way up. Weight back towards the heels, a little bit of a hinge. Sometimes I think people go a little too low, right? So think of stay upright, lead with the hips, don't lead with the torso. So hips lead, knees follow. They kind of have to go together. Keeping even weight through the feet as you move. Let's go 2 And then last time, hold it and sweep your arms forward and sweep your arms back. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. 3 more. 2. And then very last time. Come all the way up to standing. I'm going to turn now towards my right foot. I'm going to start with my calf stretch. So I'm just going to bend my right knee, punch my weights together. I'm going to hinge forward slightly, which actually lets me reach through that back heel a little bit more and gives me a bigger stretch to my calf. So just start by really stretching, getting your pelvis nice and square. Notice if you're hiking one hip up, try to drop it down, and then feel your weight in that front foot and push the floor away, and then pull that knee back forward towards the toe. So I'm really looking, I just want to make sure my knee is coming over the foot. And then elbows to your side, and as you extend your front knee, extend your elbows, and then bend back. Four, 3, 2, and then last time, you're gonna hold that bend, and you're gonna lift and lower your back heel. So remember, our weight should be primarily on that front foot. Reach through your front arm when you're ready. Feeling the abs connect. Then you're gonna hold, and you're gonna lower, and you're gonna lift. And I can't remember what I did with this arm, but I'm gonna push and pull again. If that's wrong, do what's what we did on the first side. I just can't remember. And so I'm letting my back knee drop down, and I'm pulling it back up. And my weight is on that front leg. Three more. 2. And then last time, see if you can hold it for 4, 3, 2, and then stand up on 1. Okay, so I'm gonna pivot back to face you. This time, our legs go really wide. So I'm opening, making this nice big V. My toes are kind of turning out to the front corners of my mat. And I'm gonna try to now keep my body stacked upright. I'm not gonna hinge forward like a squat. Instead, I'm gonna pull my knees apart into what we call a grand plie, and then push into the feet, specifically heels especially, to see if you can feel that lift through the glutes. So I lower, doesn't have to be big, and I push the floor to lift. And I lower, trying to not lean forward. So that's why I have my weights right here. And I'm really thinking, okay, abs, I don't want to let my pelvis spill forward. So you're keeping your pelvis up, maybe even a slight feeling of imprint. Push the floor away. You're gonna go for 4, 3, 2, and then we're gonna hold it low. We're gonna pull our elbows to our side, and we're gonna push the arms up to the sky and pull the elbows down. And you're just gonna sink a little down, and a little up, and a little down, and a little up, and a little down, and a little up, and a little down, and a little up. And I think I'm reaching from the back shoulders. And I want to keep the activation through the abs And I want to feel this little release and a little lift through my pelvic floor. 2 more times. And this very last time here, bend your elbows and just close and open, legs still. Try not to sway forward or back. Feel your glutes from underneath. Feel power through your legs. Feel your feet really connect into your mat. 4 more. 3, 2, and then last time. Elbows in. From here, you're gonna bring your weights down. Bring one leg down. For me, it's my left. Right leg is outstretched. I'm gonna put my weights down on the floor. I'm gonna spread my fingers. I'm gonna tuck my back toe. I'm gonna think tail up high, and I wanna get my hips to not be super off kilter. I just wanna see if I can kind of drop my right hip down. That's the one I'm stretching a little bit more. And I'm gonna pull, so if I'm pulling my sits bones to the exact wall, or the same wall at the exact same time, pulling my hips back, deepening that bend through this left knee, and then shifting forward. Back a little, and forward. 3 more times, just to stretch your inner thigh. 2 more times, and then very last time. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is a little more lateral shoulder. I'm gonna do this in a side plank. But if that doesn't feel good, you can lay all the way on your side in a sideline position, making sure your neck is comfortable. I'm trying to decide if I wanna do my 2-pound weight. All right, so I'm gonna start, I'm on my left elbow. I'm gonna bring my heels back in line with my sits bones. My hips are back. So I'm in this nice folded position. I'm not in a straight line. And I'm gonna really bring my hips behind my front elbow. I'm gonna bring my elbow into my side, and I'm just going to reach up as I lift my hips. And I'm kind of trying to uncrease my hips. So I'm pushing my hips forward at the same time lifting up, and I'm gonna bend my elbow and I'm gonna sink my hips back. And then you can make any little adjustments that you feel like you need. So I'm gonna push down through my side arm, lift up, and then come back, okay? Trying to get, it's hard for me to tell, but I'm trying to get my chest and my belly button and my pelvis looking forward to the same wall. I'm kind of a little twisted here, but you can kind of look down your body, see if you can figure it out. And just 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and this last time, see if you can hold and just lift and lower your top leg 9 more times. 8, 7, pelvis looks forward. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come all the way back down. Whew, okay. Ready for the other side? Okay, I'm gonna take these off. So, second side. Always feels a little different than the first. Elbow down, hips back. I always think heels in line with my sits bones. I'm trying to connect my shoulder down, and I'm trying to keep length through my neck. All right, so first one I always think is a kind of a test. I'm gonna squeeze my thighs together. I'm gonna use my glutes to push my hips forward as my arm goes up. I'm gonna try to get my pelvis and chest to look forward, and then come back. I like it. 9 more, right? Maybe that was only, I'm like, how many did we do on the first side? You know me and counting. I don't really count well. Glutes pushing forward, coming back. Glutes pushing forward, coming back. So I want to feel connection underneath, obviously my armpit. I'm trying to not lift to where I'm in a C curve. I want to come into as long of lines through my side waist as I can. I think 4 more. 4, 3, 2. And this last time you're going to hold and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Okay, everyone, we have one last exercise to do. I want you to roll your shoulders, to roll your wrists, just shake your head, just do little circles. Tricep push-ups, okay? So I've been working on these in a few of the other classes. Elbows stay narrow, they don't point wide. We're gonna kind of tuck them in. I do these on my knees, it just works better. But going to the toes is a challenge. I'm gonna see if I can do a few on my toes, okay? So I'm gonna set us up on my knees. So we want our knees behind us, chest pulls forward, shoulders, you're connecting them down. I'm not starting to sink, I'm really lifted. So I'm lifting my chest away from my arms. I'm gonna spin my elbows to look back towards my toes. I'm gonna pull my elbows to my sides, push the floor away. 2, 3, we're gonna try to do 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Was that 10 or was that 9? One more. Okay, and sit back into your child's pose. Good to, what was I counting? Good to count. I think I may have done 11. All right, so sit your hips back. Let your chest melt to the floor. Tail can be nice and high here. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And one more time. And then slowly sink your hips back towards your heels. And roll all the way up through your spine. All right, everyone, good job with your weights class. That was a hard one.